Life is scripted, and the best writers create magical stories. That is why we create magic on Screen Time. Hello, lovers of entertainment. It is your favorite show, Screen Time on ConsumerHalla TV, where we bring to your screen exclusive interviews, top 5 countdown, new movie release updates, and celebrity of the week. I am Iremufe Koforola, man clothed in wealth and strength. On the show with me is the ever amazingly beautiful birthday girl, Kikelomo Ajibola.
Clock it!
Happy birthday!
Birthday, Nares. If you guys don't know, yesterday was my birthday.
Yeah.
January 25, a queen was born.
Oh,
I'm not going to tell you the year because, oh my god.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know.
Yes,
All the
but
same, I mean, it's so beautiful to see everything you've achieved in the past 1 year. We've
Hey!
been friends now for
4 years or 5 years.
years,
I
and
think so.
you know, every year it keeps getting better, just like fine wine, you know.
Yes, so
And that's just I'm happy
yeah.
for you.
Thank
you know.
you.
So before we go on, I just want to say, what are you most grateful for the past 1 year?
my life, first of all, and the life of the people around me, because a lot of people died, 2025, and even just this January of 2026. It's just like from one bad news to another. I've not really gotten that from anybody that is a friend, family, or a close one. So I'm really grateful to God for preserving the lives of my, my family, friends, and well-wishers. So yeah, that's what I'm most grateful about.
Once again, happy birthday, and we
Thank
just have to
you.
keep we have to keep the ground running.
Exactly.
The English was having some comment here. All right. So today we shall be exploring the world of filmmaking through the lens of a screenwriter. We all know, just like actors, screenwriters bet the idea of a story. They are as important as crew members in film, television, or any show.
I agree with you, honestly, and they engage the audience with compelling plots, also developing characters with strong narrative techniques. They are very, very important in whatever we do, because without them, we don't know what, would have happened to stories out there.
Yeah.
Everybody would just be saying, "Oh, I'm a screenwriter. I can write stories," and then just like the issues we're having with YouTube production right now, that people are having issues with all the stories being churned out on there. So it's the role of a screenwriter is very, very important in whatever we are doing.
And like, I just believe, I think many great stories wouldn't have been told without screenwriters, because they bring into reality some of these fresh ideas and make us, they give us the ability to, explore the world of storytelling.
Yeah.
So today on the show, we bring to your screen a seasoned writer, director, and producer who is the founder of the Crazy Giggle Company. She has been named as one of the 100 most influential people who have contributed to the growth of Nollywood by Why Niger and Ebony Life. Yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
She has created, written, and been head writer for series like Rihanna, Chetam, Diche, Skinny Girl in Transit season 7. I knew we were going to
I
like
love Skinny Girl in Transit.
and most recently, Be Dazzled. She is the one and only Ifeanyi Barbara Chidi.
Wow, I'm so excited to bring her on the program. She's not here yet, but she's going to be joining us in like a minute's time.
Yeah.
You know now that Skinny Girl in Transit is one of my favorite series in Nigeria. It is just so chic, it's so full of family drama, typical Nigerian life, and every other thing. And the word bedazzled, I used to say that if I'm a lover of vintage cars, so I'm like, there's the one car like I call Subaru or Suzuki, I don't know, anyone that that small mini Korokwe car that I'm gonna buy it one day, and I'm going to bedazzle it with rhinestones are pink, purple, and then the interior is gonna be purple and everything. People were like, "Are you crazy?" No, I don't know if I know that the bedazzle is going to be. I would have even brought the picture of the car, because I had AI make the car for me. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have to show you my intellectual my vision. The vision I had in my mind, how I want that car to be bedazzled. So I cannot wait for her to join us on the program, because she's such an amazing. I've met her behind the camera. She's a lovely soul. I'm very sure we're going to learn one or two from her today also. But right now we have to go on a short break so that Ifeanyi Barbara and Ifeanyi Barbara Chidi can join us on the program. Let's go on a short break. Don't go anywhere. Alright guys, welcome back to Screentime on ConsumerHalla TV. And before we went on the break the other time, we said that we would be having a talented screenwriter on the program this evening. As usual, we have questions and answers, educative moment on the program for us, for this particular person to share with us, and for people that are aspiring to be a screenwriter also to learn one or two things. Ifeanyi Barbara Chidi is the one that we'll be bringing on the program today. Good evening, ma. Thank you so much for joining the program.
Thank you for
this
having
evening.
me.
Yeah. You are a screenwriter for the Nollywood space. The first thing I'm going to ask is, how do you how comfortable is it to actually be in that space when it comes to Nollywood in general?
I'm not sure what you mean by comfortable.
Like
or-
you know there's a lot of issues with screenwriters. People would always say there is no credit, there is no acknowledgement, stuff like that. So the first question that I would want to ask, because I feel like most people always have issues even sourcing for the names of people that wrote a particular story. It's a lot of struggle. We're looking at screenwriters upstairs today, and like we had to go and be looking for end credit. They were not online. So what do you think about that, and why is that even a problem in the first place?
Okay, so two things. One, I feel like there's some neglect when it comes to crediting writers. And one of the reasons I feel that might be is because the writer's job is usually done before production actually starts.
Okay.
So a lot of the time, the writer has done their part of the job.
Okay.
And then the film starts and then the film ends. For some reason, it's not right.
Yes.
But for some reason, producers forget the writer's role in the film. And when they want to credit everybody, they seem to remember the people that they worked with on set.
Okay.
And then they completely forget that somebody worked before everybody came together for the production. And this is not giving them any excuses, because it's completely wrong. But I feel that might be a reason that people forget to credit writers. But I know that there's a push, there's a lot of resistance now when you don't see a writer's name on either a poster or a social media post. A lot of writers get into the comment section and start looking for trouble.
Exactly.
Is to ask, who wrote this? If you guys are not going to credit the person that wrote this, we need to know who wrote this.
Who wrote the story?
It's something that we are doing now, where we're trying to push for more visibility for writers in Nollywood.
Yeah, because I agree with you with the poster stuff. Before Nollywood became YouTube, this big screen, whatever. Before, if you buy a cassette of CD, you will see the name of the writer on the cassette. So why is it now that we have the global stage, and then you're not putting the writer's name on it? It's very sad that you have to look and look and look before you see a particular writer. And we have beautiful stories online. You have to give credit to people that wrote that particular story. So I agree with you.
Okay, just to add to what you said, and this is in form of a question too, because I believe, like you said most times the writers, their job mostly ends before production.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, when probably during the post-production and everything, they try they just neglect them. So how can a writer, because I've seen cases like that whereby somebody says, oh, this wasn't the way I wrote the story. At the end of the day, there was a tweak, there was a twist in it, and it's your creative idea.
Yes.
And you came up with that beautiful story. Then at the end of the day, something was done to it and all that. Then why is it that the writer's job ends at pre-production? How can the writer ensure that with other departments, even not just because sometimes we see beautiful stories, then the way it is portrayed, or the direction, poor directing, or you see the cinematography or costume, it does not really give
beauty to the work of the
writer. So how can the writer ensure that, okay, even if I'm not on set, how can I ensure that everything works in line with the story, everything?
So the best way the writer can protect themselves is the contract. Now, if your contract specifically states that you can't tweak this work I've given you without speaking to me first, because there are some producers who know that they should tweak, that they can't tweak without speaking to the writers, but some producers don't know that. So if you specify in your contract protects you from everything, from payments, from credits. You can even state in your contract how you want to be credited, where you want to be credited, on your poster, on your, so those these things are possible in contract, but a lot of people don't know that you can actually put it in the contract. So if you put it in your contract that your producer has to speak to you before tweaking. Now, you might not agree with the tweaks, but you are aware of the tweaks. So your producer has to
speak, a clause.
Yes, it's a clause in your contract. Your producer has to speak to you before making tweaks to your original work. You are protected on all fronts. You can no longer say, "Oh, I didn't know." And if your producer doesn't do that, they are in breach of your contract.
Exactly.
So it would make people sit up and be firmer
and accountable for their actions.
Yes, in how they approach this kind of work.
Yes, excuse me. Something came to mind because when she was saying a lot of things, just Nigeria is just filled with a lot of drama when it comes to creative space. And this is not to bash anybody, but just to say that sometimes you have a particular writer. Same story for like 4 producers.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, there's a breach of contract.
It's just bad behavior. It's just bad behavior. I brought it up recently I was having a conversation with the president of the Screenwriters Guild, and there was one particular incident that was clear. A writer gave her script to 2 producers on YouTube, and she got caught. It's bad behavior.
Oh my god, a lot of it is on YouTube.
It's just bad behavior. It's bad behavior on the part of the writers because the producers are not aware that you've sold the script before
to somebody.
Yeah, so it's bad behavior. It's people trying to get away with lawlessness, and unfortunately it seems to be the culture. And this is me bashing the whole of Nigeria. It seems to be the culture of the people. Now, if it happens, right? You're sitting in traffic, there's a red light, and somebody drives. We are all waiting for the red light, and somebody drives past because they want to beat the red light.
Yes.
It's a pervasive bad, like we are badly behaved.
Like it's like imbued. Like you don't even see the need that you are totally wrong.
Yes, and
why?
And the reason for me is because there is no punishment. So once, I think there was a time there were cameras around traffic lights.
Yeah, there's one here.
And Lagosians,
they still do that.
Lagosians
stopped a bit
because there was a time I was driving. I think I was driving my car without insurance, and I got a text message.
A ticket.
They charged me 20k.
Yeah, 20k.
I would never do it again. Like, I knew my insurance had expired. I would never do it again. So there's a thing about punishment for bad behavior that makes people just align. So if writers know that if I sell my work to 4 different producers, the money that I made from that, if they sue me,
I would more than
spend 100% more than
that.
I would refrain from bad behavior. So I feel like we live in a society where there's no punishment, and if there's punishment, people will align.
I agree with you. But before we actually leave this conversation, because this is one of the most interesting conversations that people have most. I watched a TikTok video. I told you that a lady actually came out. She reviews films on, we have a lot of self-acclaimed reviewers online. So she was even talking particularly to producers on YouTube that, can you guys stop churning out movies just anyhow? We have like hundreds of films, like let me say hundreds, like far-fetched, like 10 movies every week on YouTube, and then out of those 10, 5 is similar to each other, and some of them they're not worth our time. Okay, we're not going to go and watch a movie with money, but I'm using my data. M10 is expensive. Can you guys please tell your scriptwriter to do better? And I'm like, it may not even, just like he said sometimes, that it may be the work of the producers to tweak a lot of things, and then the movie would probably not make sense. I'm thinking, how can a scriptwriter, you're a professional scriptwriter, you sit down and you write this kind of story, and you didn't feel like there were some things missing in the story?
I will come back for that.
So it's always very, very.
I have a comeback. Okay,
I'm
here to defend.
Okay, so it's always very, very funny how it is. And I absolutely, we've had a lot of people on the program that they will say, no, everybody have their own sole job. It's just little things that bring you guys together. I'm like, I feel like it should be, if it is more of a collaborative effort, you will see how beautiful it will come out. You can't tell me that the director is the only one that has his soul to say on a particular subject. That is why some of these things are having, issues.
She has a comeback for you.
Oh, yeah, let's come back.
Okay. So about the quality of films you see on YouTube sometimes, in every industry in the world, there are different tiers of filmmaking. So even in Hollywood, there are some films you watch on. So there's the A tier, there's the B tier,
there's the C tier.
Yes, so there are some
there's
films.
S.
There are some films you watch on Hallmark or some other channels on TiVo. Like you're like, okay, this is not particularly, and then you can't compare that film to Avengers.
Yeah, obviously.
So in Nollywood, just as in Hollywood, there are different tiers of filmmaking. So you can't complain. You have a right to complain as a consumer, but you need to know what you are going in for. Hallmark movies, for example, it's about a city girl goes to a small town and falls in love. Every single film is the same theme.
Yes.
Christmas movies, you go to Netflix and watch a lot of Christmas movies. They all feel alike. We watch them for the enjoyment of them.
Yeah, feel good movies.
Yes, feel good movies.
I said a lot of that. I'm a fan of feel good movies. I don't care whatever anybody has to say.
And you know they're going to fall in love, but you watch it.
Yeah.
Like, from the beginning of the film, you know, okay, these two people are going to fall in love, but you're watching for the how. You're watching for the experience.
Yeah,
right?
for the fun of it.
Exactly. And you can't compare a feel good movie that you're just watching for the experience on like a Hallmark to a film like Materialist that you went to watch in the cinema. So when we come to these movies on YouTube in particular, I know that we are using YouTube right now to rate the whole industry, but
that's actually very, very unfair.
Yes, it's unfair.
It's unfair
because you cannot compare a film,
very different,
a low budget film on YouTube to a film you are watching in the cinema. If you watch a film in the cinema and you complain, you have every right to complain because you've spent your money. You've bought popcorn. You transported yourself to the cinema.
Yes, so 15,000.
Exactly.
Your friends, you paid for them.
They gave you a promise when you watched the
You left your house, so
yes, they told you the first epic, the first global something. They sold it to you, and you went to the cinema. If you do not have a good experience, feel free
to
them
complain.
Exactly. Name them. But if you watch a film on YouTube, my dear. Love it.
I actually feel like, no, honestly, I used to tell people something that I do agree with you, and I agree with her because I'm a lover of YouTube films. I love YouTube films. So the thing about it is that, like, I always tell people that choose a particular channel that you feel produce the best for you. True. Don't watch everything on YouTube. True. And in our own view is the fact that some views just don't cut right for even YouTube standard. They should not be on YouTube. Honestly, I feel like you just want to put out something, and because we have a lot of channels, like hundreds of Nollywood channels on YouTube, and then you guys, some of like 90%, 70% of those channels do not even bring films that even the olden days Nollywood time. There are better films from that time compared to them. So that's where she is coming from. So in that aspect, I don't think anybody in their right frame of mind would actually compare a YouTube film to a cinema movie. That's they send millions of naira for that one, like hundreds in millions and hundreds.
You also make a good point, because the thing about watching on TV or on YouTube now is that the consumer has the right to change the channel.
Yeah, exactly. Just have your own preference. I have people that
you have your voice.
I know that there is no way their movie would be. They don't bring one bad movie. I know that if I go to their channel, Chini Love, she brings mostly love faith, like faith based. Like, I love her stories. Biado Stephen, she brings a lot of beautiful stories. We have Omoni Oboli. Watch these people. Don't be telling me because you went to go and watch one YouTube, they are already rating everything. No, why are you watching YouTube? They make me look like I am jobless for watching a YouTube production. So it's always like that people actually should know that it's not always the fault of this. Like you said earlier on, the budget for YouTube is way different, and even the time they use in shooting it is way lesser than cinema. The cinema they can use 3 months, but YouTube sometimes 5 days, and they're ready to do production. So I feel like we should be more appreciative of them rather than just, But she in her own right is like, MTN is expensive. If I buy 2 gig, 3.2 gig, I can only watch one film. Why are you now making me? And for someone like me, even if a movie is bad, I must watch it to the end. I can't start a movie and not finish it. It makes me feel like my whole day is ruined. If I start a movie, I must finish. Some people are like that. Some people can easily just, like you now. If a movie is bad, you can easily just say, I'm not watching it anymore. Let me move to another one. But for me, I'll probably give it a benefit of that. Say, okay, maybe some way, somehow,
Yeah.
maybe it's just drag in the beginning. Maybe it will make sense. That's how I give grace to productions. But honestly, script writers, screenwriters, they are not just a small role. They don't have just a small role. They have one of the most biggest role. So I wonder why it is just pre-production that they stop their role. I don't know why it doesn't continue.
It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Right. So there, I have the privilege of working in television, and in television, the script writer, the writer, the head writer's role continues through the production.
Yeah.
Because people on production are always calling to check, oh, did we do this right? This thing that you wrote, is it the right thing we are doing? Is it the right thing we're translating? And that has been a great experience for me. And I think that should translate to other productions as well.
Exactly.
Because the writer is like the engine room of your production.
Period.
It's what they have written that you are now translating.
Period.
So you have to clear stuff with them to find out if you are translating this story in the best way possible that these writers have written down, or if you have another idea, run it by the writer. Sometimes they would see your idea. If ego isn't playing a game, sometimes they will see your idea and realize, oh, it's better than what I have down. Yes, let's do it like that. And it has happened a lot of times. So I'm hoping that moving forward,
to do better.
Yes.
I mean, nobody's an island of knowledge. Just like she said, you can have you may not be want to pen down stuff, but you may have a vision in your head and say, oh, let's do it. I feel like writers are supposed to work with costumiers. I feel like writers are supposed to work with the directors to know exactly what is. Clothes interpret role. People don't understand all of those things. Makeup interpret role.
You are very right.
So those people don't understand why it's like that. So a lot of people come here and they will say, no, the director is different. I'm like, why is it like that? Collaborative effort pays more.
Film is collaborative.
Thank you very much.
You said a whole lot, and I'm just interested, because I might have a story and I might not necessarily know how to write. And because your portfolio, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And you worked on a lot of projects. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. So and I've watched some of your projects, amazing productions, I must say.
Thank you.
And really, you have such a powerhouse. Let me put it that way.
Thank you.
So let's look at it. Yes. You've created shows.
Yes.
There are some that you're just writer, some you are the head writer and all that. So let's see, like how I was giving the analogy that, okay, I want to have a story, then I probably do not know how to bring it to life. Then I just tell you, because sometimes I see story by
screenplay, like
all of those things. So now, then how do I really come to you? Because I know that you do fantastic job at the end of the day. Writers, they do that. Yeah. Then how do I come to you in such a way that you are able to describe the scene, you are able to, the dialogue, everything, it's well,
in my vision,
it's fresh and it looks so better than what I just told you. Like, this is the idea, and you really bettered that in a very beautiful way. How do you do that?
How do I change your idea into a...
Yes, I'm asking generally, yes, for screenwriters now, because I know that someone might just have the idea
and come talk to you about it.
Yes, and come to you about, oh, this is the idea. Just tells you, just more or less like synopsis of what the story is all about. Then you come out with that full script.
How?
Yes.
I think it's a mixture of talent and skill. Right? So writing can be formulaic sometimes. So you can give me an idea and you're just telling me a story idea, but in my head, I've started to put structure to it. So one of the things I learned very early in writing was structure. So I know, like, let's, for example, use the example of a nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. If you come to me with Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, Jack fell down and broke his crown, you've told me Jack and Jill went up the hill. My brain is already saying, why did they go up the hill? That adds to the story. My brain is saying, what do they need water for? That adds to the story.
Where's the hill?
Where is the hill? What is on the hill?
So it's WHO.
My brain is saying, who pushed them? Because he just fell down. If somebody pushed them, that adds to the story.
Wow.
So there's a villain in the story that pushed them. So somebody pushed Jack. If my brain goes, what if Jill pushed Jack?
Wow. It could be a twist.
It could be a
You
twist.
see that? Even right now, she's already writing.
What's the relationship between Jack and Jill? And if Jill pushed Jack, why did she fall? Did she pretend to fall so that nobody suspects her?
Wow.
So a lot of those elements.
Exactly. So if you fill up and the rudimentary journalistic questions are who, what, why, when, how, right? So if you fill up those questions, before you know it, you have a fuller story. And that takes talent to be able to fill that up, and then it takes the skill and the know-how to know that to ask those questions.
That's true.
So that you can fill up the story.
Interesting. I love that.
Very simple.
Interesting.
Very clear. I'm telling you.
So
very
I
clear.
just said that now, people say, I watched that movie, it was a bad story. I watched this one, it was a great story, it was appealing. You understand? So what then makes a bad story? What makes a good story? You understand? Because if every writer should, employ all of these things into their writing, I believe they should have a very beautiful story.
I may not be able to answer what makes a bad story, but I can tell you what makes a good story.
Okay.
So a good story is one that answers certain questions. So, for example, a good story will be intriguing. It would be fascinating. It will be entertaining. A good story,
inquisitive, I think so too.
answers who, what, when, why,
and how.
A good story keeps you captivated.
Yes,
So a good story is so there's a phrase that I learned. It says something is happening to someone. So something fascinating is happening to someone fascinating using fascinating methods. So whatever is happening in your story has to be engaging, interesting. Your character that the thing is happening to has to be engaging, interesting. Now, the way the thing is happening, the way the fascinating thing is happening, has to be engaging, interesting. So once you put these three things in place, good story.
Thank you. And I think from what she just said, I know what makes a bad story.
It has answered.
It has answered everything, no. What makes a bad story? I already know it. Character development makes a bad story. With the way people put in.
Are you sure you don't want to come and work on this side?
So it's always very funny how people always just blame everything. You can't say it's just the screenwriter's fault alone that makes the story a bad story. It may also be from the production angle. That makes it may be from the tweaking, from them saying, oh no, the writer wrote this. Why did you not call the writer to say, why exactly did you have this kind of vision in your storyline? So these are things that, like I said, collaborative efforts will make a better storyline for Nollywood space, instead of just saying one person is just this person.
Okay. Now let's talk about the challenges writers might have. And I know one of such is writer's block. Sometimes you are just working on a project and you don't even know how to continue. You are just like stuck in a way. And at the end of the day, I know research is there, all of those things, but what are some of the challenges that writers might face in this climb? You understand? Because sometimes some people tell you, hey, we are nowhere paid. Apart from the fact that you are attributed for what you have done, then you did your part then, and some people will even come online and say they are still being owed for a particular project. So what are some of the challenges that you face generally now as screenwriters?
Okay, speaking on writer's block, I haven't had the privilege of being blocked because I always have deadlines. So you can't discipline is very, very important in TV writing. Because you can't tell the producers that you have writer's block when they are waiting to shoot episode 132, and you can't tell them you're wasting money. Production is so for a couple of years I didn't have
writer's block.
I couldn't afford to have writer's block. So I believe in discipline. Yes, sometimes you can be blocked. Like I was very, very moved when Chimamanda said that the reason she didn't write for more than a decade was because she just couldn't. She had writer's block, and I understood it because she was also going through grief. So when it now comes to challenges, because I just wanted to do an aside about writer's block. When it comes to challenges that writers face, there are quite a bit. I would talk about the environment, right? Sometimes, and this is going back to a personal story, when I first started writing in this industry more than a decade ago, somebody came to me and said they wanted to do a Pan-African film, and he did it. It was in film that they shot in Nigeria, they shot in Ghana, they shot in Sierra Leone and Cote d'Ivoire.
Wow.
Ivory Coast. And I was very excited to write it because he was paying me in dollars because it was an international project. But when we finished the negotiations and we discussed, I wrote part 1. They really liked part 1. They shot it. While they were still shooting, they said I should write part 2 because it was really good. I wrote part 2. When it now came to collecting money.
For part 2?
Even for part 1.
For part 1?
Part 1's money was not even complete. And this was a time where to get dollars, you need to go to the bank to do money transfer.
Yeah.
So I would go to he would say, oh, the money is there. Go to GTB. GTB, Allen. Go to GTB. So, okay, can I call your name? Anyway,
yeah, you can.
Go to the bank. The money is there. I'll go to the bank. I'll be sitting down. I'll go to the counter. The woman will say, there's no money arrived for you. I'll go back. I'll sit down. I'll call him. Be like, oh, it hasn't gotten there. Oh, just wait 30 minutes. I will be at the bank. They'll not say come tomorrow. I'll not come tomorrow. Anyway, of the money that we negotiated at the time, I think it was 150,000 naira or 100,000. I can't remember. But I remember that the only money I got from writing part 1 and 2 was 16,000 naira.
16,000 naira.
Yes, from his first dollar transfer.
16,000 naira.
16,000 naira. I quit writing.
Because of that?
Yes, and I went back to, I think this was when I went back to go and do my master's because I was like, yeah, my education was too expensive.
For that, exactly.
My education was too expensive. So sometimes, right?
No.
You meet dishonest producers, right? You meet dishonest producers who will promise you the world before you come on their project. Now, one of the things that can help that is an enforceable contract. I always go back to writers should have a lawyer that can write letter. You need an enforceable contract such that if payments are not being paid as at when due, you can activate your lawyer. Other challenges would come from what I ordered versus what I got, which is what I wrote versus what they produced. And this happens quite a bit. I remember going to the cinema with a friend of mine who had written a film. A bunch of us went to the cinema. He had to sit in our middle and start saying, this scene that you're watching, this is not what I wrote. So what I wrote.
Oh my God.
And he was explaining for every scene in the film, which was very painful. Oh, because you are putting effort to
sit
write
down to write.
Film, and then on set they have changed everything. Without letting you know.
Not even one, almost everything.
They changed almost everything, and it happens quite a bit where writers, they are quiet when their film comes out because it's not what they wrote. That's a huge challenge.
Then at the end of the day, we blame them not knowing that.
Exactly what I'm saying.
It's a huge challenge in our industry, which is why I said producers and directors need to see writers as collaborators.
Exactly.
So even if you don't think what your writer wrote made sense, the writer is a writer for a reason. If you have a new idea, speak to your writer. If they can formulate it in a way that
will work in line with what they have written.
That works in line with what you are seeing in your vision as the director or as a producer, then we can have a better film. But if you alienate them and think, okay, I want to change the color of this woman's shirt to red, right? But in the script, it's blue. And there's a reason it's blue in the script, because at the end of the film, maybe somebody's supposed to rescue the woman in blue and they make a call and say, blue. Rescue the woman in blue. But
that happens a lot.
You have changed that thing to red. It affects the film at the end of the day. But because you don't have the total vision that the writer had, you change it and then it turns your film upside down.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of the day, we all have regrets.
He's a screenwriter.
And they blame
because
the
story. It's the story
the
now.
The story is bad.
Yeah. The actor's tried, but it's the story that is bad.
So we have quite a bit. We have quite a bit to battle.
There is one particular one that I want to mention about a lot of writers and people that are aspiring to be writers come online to say, "Oh, I shared a script with a producer. They went outside to give the right to the other person and kind of tweak it, but the story is still similar to mine. What can that particular writer do? Because if I have a manuscript in my hand that, you know, look exactly like it, and I have like screenshots of the day I sent it to you before you shot your particular movie, I feel like it's a form of, what will I say? How would I say it in
Plagiarism?
Yeah, and it's a betrayal in a way, because I trusted you to share the script with you to just make you feel like if you can work with me, why would you now go and do exactly what I sent to you with somebody else? Why not me?
So again, even if you're a young writer, please be protected. Protect yourself before you share stuff. So there are things people share now. A non-disclosure agreement is an NDA. It's a simple contract. If you're going to share your script, some people, some young writers sent me a document recently, and they were like, "Oh, please, ma, will you sign an NDA?" And I was laughing because I know why they're afraid to
just share. Yeah,
but that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do. Some producers will be like, "Oh, how dare you ask me to sign an NDA?"
I feel like that's what shut them out most times.
Who are you to ask me to sign an NDA? Okay, don't send me your script. And there's the fear that this big producer
is rejecting,
will not take my script because I'm saying sign an NDA. But an NDA is very important. It protects you. It protects you from your complaints later that, oh, my lead character was Ada. They changed their own to Dada. But it's still
the same thing. Yeah.
Right? So you're protected by contracts, NDAs. Protect yourself. It's very important.
Everything rises and falls on contracts.
Contracts, exactly.
In this case.
And don't say that contract doesn't work, because I feel like a lot of people have that opinion that it doesn't really protect me in Nigeria. It does protect you.
It does.
It does protect you.
And let's before we allow you go, because this has been a masterclass and I've learned so much. Like I've learned so much.
Another thing, you can also trademark your script.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
you can. Yes, you can trademark your script.
People
need to learn how the law works. So speak to a lawyer. Your script is intellectual property.
Yes.
So speak to a lawyer and get your scripts trademarked. If your scripts are trademarked, then nobody can
do anything. Oh, okay,
that's
since very good.
Trademark, I want to talk about royalties in the industry, because that's another thing.
Oh God,
no. Because I think most times
you guys brought me here to attack me.
No, because most times writers are the receiving end.
Because we hear a lot of things. Nobody paid me 20,000 naira for a particular masterpiece. I'm like, why exactly?
And most times it's just like after I've paid you, then any other payment, it's out of the way. And so why is it like that?
Unfortunately, right now in our industry, we haven't grown enough to pay royalties. But yes, we are due royalties.
Okay.
We are due royalties, but it's not a system that has been established in Nollywood yet. And I'm hoping that we get there
very soon.
Very soon. Because writers in Nigeria are due royalties. Like you would hear that they are still paying people that wrote, for example, Secrets of the Sand.
Yes.
Secrets of the Sand shows.
They're still paying them.
Yeah.
Anywhere in any country,
they have a particular percentage from that money.
Yes. And I'm hoping
you get that.
Really hoping and praying that our industry gets
because a lot of people will say you've already sold your story because you collected money, and I'm like, yes, it's my job. I'm supposed to be paid for it, but I want to know the difference between. Is it true that people sell the story off totally, or is that why the royalties?
Different types of contracts.
Okay,
there are different types of contracts. Some you sell off your rights.
Oh.
Some you get paid for the story.
But you have your rights.
You keep your rights, exactly. You keep your rights and you get paid for the story.
Okay.
So they're different. It depends on what you're able to negotiate.
It is to get paid and still have my rights.
Yes, now. Some producers don't agree.
I feel like that's the most sensible, because they know you would want to claim benefit to it later on. That's why they would always say that.
Seriously.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about your projects. I mean, we've talked about screenwriting.
Yes. So
let's talk about your fresh and interesting recent project, Bedazzled. So what really inspired that story? Because you wrote it and you also directed it. So how was it like writing and directing?
Okay, so it was really fun. When I was writing Bedazzled, I really wanted it to be a fun project. A lot of the stories I tell tend to be at some points dark. Where people die, people cry, and a lot of. So
it's them. They don't make us cry.
I write a lot of dramas, and people do end up crying when they watch stuff that and that has been happening for years.
Oh
so
my
when
God.
Something
came to my head right now, but it's okay. I'll let you finish.
Don't fight me.
No.
So when I was writing Bedazzled, I really wanted it to be light, comedic, fun. Like I wanted people to laugh, to
enjoy themselves. Yeah, relax.
So the whole story was about everybody has had a crush, right, on somebody that in your mind you're just being delusional.
Hey,
like,
Kim,
the guy smiled at you today in your mind. You're like, he likes me, you know. So I wanted to tell a story that just people could resonate with, like. Yeah. No matter how old you are, you've experienced it. You've had a crush. In fact, if you're old, you're remembering those stupid days.
Yeah, it's gonna be that mini little you. It's gonna just
it will remind you, take you on a trip of just remembering how silly you were when you really liked somebody. And that was the whole idea, to write it and to infuse it with fun, laughter, also to infuse it with girl friendship. So a lot of the times when you hear stories of somebody has a crush on my boyfriend. A lot of the times you hear stories of the girl fighting the other girl.
Why?
And to me, I was like, can't we tell this story differently?
Exactly.
So I wanted to attempt that. I wanted to talk about girl friendships, the solid ones.
Yes, thank you very much.
The very idea that if this man was not in the middle of us, we might actually be cool. We might actually be friends. If this man wasn't causing problems, let's move him to the side. You and me, let's just.
Thank you very much.
The man has been moved.
Thank you. A lot of that happened, but people don't tend to tell that one. They tend to always portray it as, yes, the girl always have to fight.
Yeah.
I watched a particular movie on YouTube. I think it was called Best Friends. I cannot remember. It was Miwa Olorunfemi and I think John. Ekanem. Yeah, it was there, and one other lady. She's doing well, and it was about two friends that really, really do love each other. And people will have thought that because there's a guy in the picture, they are going to be fighting. And it was it was different from whatever anybody was.
And that's
very,
good.
very it was really interesting. It shows us that girls do have beautiful relationships. They always portray guys don't fight. Guys always have cool thing. Guys, and then we watch Ebuka Johnny Africa with them Timini and everybody was throwing stone basketballs and we were like, what's going on? So it's always very, very funny that we tend to write stories like that.
Yeah, so the idea is to show different perspectives.
I love that. And thank you for bringing the fact that you always like to write stories that make people.
It's time for you to attack.
Because Skinny Girl is so much. I'm like, no, what exactly is going on with my Mohammed? I don't understand what is going on. So it was a lot of emotions with Skinny. I've not finished watching Skinny Getting Trapped because I was really angry with a lot of things. I'm like, what is going on? It was interesting. It gives it a different spice from just normal. We're always laughing with Mama Tiwa and every other thing with season 1, but season 7 was like a very hard pill to swallow. And I said, I'm not going to finish it until you people produce season 8. I cannot wait and see where Tiwa and Aman is having their this thing. No, I'm not going to wait. But it's always very nice. I feel like a lot of people like dark stories. Yes. Because people always say not everything is a bed of roses. You cannot say happy ending every time. You can't always have happy ending. Even in life, you have
ups and downs.
Yeah, ups and downs. So dark stories are nice too, but for people that love rom-com, for people that love love, please give us fun. Let us just have fun.
We'll try. So my idea is to create a balance between the stories that go. So not all my stories. So let me not misrepresent myself here. A lot of my stories have happy endings. I mean, even though they go through, and that's how life is. They go through the ups and downs and the turmoils, but a lot of the time they do end up happy.
Thank God. Please let us be happy now. Nigeria has already had enough. I can't be watching a movie that will making me cry every time. So I feel like we that is just life. And some people watch movies and genuinely want to pick a fight with the writer and say, why exactly would you write this particular story like this? And I think we spoke about royalties. I think we should talk about the award, the recognition. Now,
thankfully, at least you've gotten
some
of the projects have gotten
recognition
and all that. So because I still think in a way that there's room for
more improvement,
recognition.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, because sometimes you see that, okay, in this category this movie was nominated, then when it comes to probably the story at the end of the
yeah,
day,
it's not nominated.
It's not nominated, and it's a fantastic story. So yeah, you go online, you read different comments. People are like, they have beef with the writer. That is why this and that. Yes, you know, X is another thing. Entirely. You see a lot of comments and all that. But for me, maybe I was just thinking with the ones I've seen. I think in a way, or would you agree or not, that writers are being recognized when it comes to awards?
I have an opinion when it comes to that. I don't think we have enough award shows.
Yes.
In Nigeria. So right now, some of our major awards are the AMAs and the AMVCs. I feel like it might be time for, and it takes a lot of money. It actually takes a lot of financing, but it might be time for other bodies to start looking for how to create
another set of award
recognition patterns for other people.
Yeah.
And if we can just create all these awards, so that you're not just waiting until you receive an AMVC or you're waiting until you receive an AMA before you feel validated in the industry.
Exactly.
For example, I feel like the YouTube films, if they can create their awards,
I think Omoniboli started one.
It will be a great thing for them because they're in a category of their own.
That's very nice.
So just as we have the Golden Globes, we have the Spirit Awards, we have the Oscars, so we can also have these little
awards,
and then given time they will get to a place of proper recognition.
I agree with you. I agree with you, honestly. I do agree with you.
It's a whole lot, and I just believe we get there.
By God's grace, please.
Yes,
let's get there fast.
So
let's move
right
to the good
now
part.
we've like gisted. I just feel that this
I
is
enjoyed this. I did
a beautiful
I
conversation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here. Thank you for the masterclass.
Yes.
Thank you for everything you've said. I've learned a whole lot, and I'm quite sure aspiring writers too.
Yeah,
like I mean,
one or two.
I believe they can follow you on your social media platform.
Yes, so
would you want to share?
On the Ifeanyi Chidi on Twitter, the Ifeanyi Chidi on Instagram.
So it's only just those two.
Yes. And then they can check out my YouTube channel, because there's Please Out here on my YouTube channel, so they can check out the Crazy Google. There's a show.
Okay. That's
so the Crazy
nice.
Google is the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Check out the.
And I think I saw a video of you with Yinka Ogun or
Yes, that was a conversation we had on Ndani.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Ndani.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really inspiring.
Yes. If you're an aspiring writer, an established writer, or you're just thinking of getting into the business, that's a conversation you should
listen to. Yeah. And
also
this one.
Thank you so much. Because you write, I just want to ask this now. If your life were to be a story right now,
what would it be?
What would it be? In one word.
In one word. Give
just
us a title.
Drama. So I should give you a title of the film?
Of the story. Just
of what your life would have been right now.
Sentence: The Curious Case of Ifeanyi Barbara Chidi.
Okay.
Wow.
I
think I look forward to watching that.
I would want to watch that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for staying tuned. I mean, it is not the end of the show, but it's just a segment of it. And we are going to other segments right now. But go nowhere. We are still here with you on Screentime and ConsumerHalla TV.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHalla TV.
ConsumerHalla TV.
ConsumerHalla TV.
At ConsumerHalla TV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHalla TV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrive.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria Powered by 72-hour feedback mechanism, we offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHalla TV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHalla TV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHalla TV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHalla TV. At ConsumerHalla TV, you deserve to be heard. At ConsumerHalla TV, you deserve to be heard.
Alright guys, welcome back from that short break. This is still Screentime on ConsumerHalla TV, and that was a very beautiful one from Ifeanyi Barbara Chidi. It's very intelligent and sophisticated screenwriter for Nollywood movies. She said a lot of stuff that I learned from. I'm very sure the audience are going to learn one or two things, especially people that are aspiring to be a screenwriter just like herself. I really enjoyed it. I'm very sure she also enjoyed the program.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she really unpacked so much for people to learn, and I personally learned so much. And I think it cuts across the fact that it's not just limited to series or television productions, but also as a writer in different fields.
Exactly.
You can also learn one or two things from that. That was beautiful.
That was very, very beautiful. So I'm going to leave the ball into your court. What we are done with the particular segment of the program. You know that I think we have about 5 segments or 4 segments of the program. So now we are going to be entering the top 5 countdowns of screenwriters, stories written by screenwriters that were compelling in 2025. So it's not overall, it is just in 2025. So stories that we feel like, yes, these stories are very interesting, and with even the comments of people, you know that these stories are interesting ones. Yes, and also I was opportune to watch some of these movies, not all, and I can say that screenwriting. You've not seen all? I've not seen all. Oh yeah, you've not seen all. Okay.
So I can say screenwriters, kudos to you guys. You guys are doing amazingly well, because they bring to life the stories, the raw stories, and we get to see them. So coming on number 5 spot is no other person. This is a collaboration between 2 writers, and sometimes, you know, that's why we have the head writers, the writers. You understand? So sometimes 2 people can co-write, 3, 4, depending on numbers and all. So coming on number 5 spot is no other person than Toyin Ibra and Tunde Komolafe for Ovasabi Auntie. I mean, I'll say this is the best from Toyin Abraham so far.
Yes.
And this story, when it comes to screenwriting, that was beautiful. And it's still in cinema, so you can say that is beautiful, because I mean,
and it's almost 1 billion naira.
Yes, almost 1 billion naira, and it really tells the story in a way that the characters, with time, we were able to understand them. We felt their pain, their vulnerability, and sometimes you could just put yourself in their shoes. So that is one powerful thing with superb storytelling.
Yes, amazing. And let's move away from that now to a movie that was released on YouTube, which is by Bimbo Ademoye. It's on Bimbo Ademoye TV. When this movie came out, everybody was talking about this movie everywhere. They were like, "But you need to come to the cinema. This story is too good for YouTube." I beg. So we on the YouTube, we don't need to have something good.
You know, you guys, we don't know you. We are talking about proper real Nollywood here, and when we talk about real Nollywood, we know those who are real, and real always recognizes real.
So we don't. If it is real, then we don't need to be on cinema for us to be real.
Cinema, that is where the icing is.
The one in the cinema, have you seen them all?
I've not seen everything.
Which one is closer to home for you? So now, if they tell you that they want to bring in all the movies to YouTube, you don't love it compared to what you're going to do.
Even I watch more of cinema movies than YouTube movies.
But you wait for them to come to your doorstep. For you don't go to the cinema to watch it. I would actually expose this guy. You don't go to the cinema to watch these movies.
How did I get to see Ovasabi?
Because you went for the movie premiere.
I still watched it
free of charge, just because you went to go and pay.
Anyway, the story is nice. That's what we're talking about, please.
So Ukema 9 Days wrote the story, the movie Where Love Lives. I'm very sure everybody knows that movie by now. Yeah, that Where Love Lives is one of the biggest, most amazing films that ever graced YouTube in 2025.
Yeah.
The story was amazing, impeccable. It's a story by Bimbo Ademoye, but it was written and developed by Ukema.
Yes, and I think we talked about that when Ifeanyi was there, that sometimes you can conceptualize
a story,
the idea,
visualize it, but you may not be able to pen it down.
Yes, not everybody can actually build the character development and all of this. So sometimes that's when we have the co-writer, the and all that. So I think that was what Ukeme did with Where Love Lives, and it was fantastic. If you have not seen it, I need to judge you for not watching the movie. Yes,
it's just your data.
Just to,
don't worry,
you are not even wasting it.
DM me on Instagram.
You will learn. You see what it means when it comes to sisterhood, to bonding, to living life and being true to yourself. And
then, oh my God, the costume. They went all out for this.
And do you know this title is very symbolic, because where love lives in the home. And love begins at home. You understand? So that in a way it was able to capture that fact that if there is love at home, you can always come back home for anything that you know happens and all that. That is not what the story is talking about, but I'm just saying
but it's just symbolic.
All right, so coming on number 3, sports. This movie, right? This is nice, and it's a breath of fresh air. This super storytelling style and technique was nice. Do you want to make a guess? Anyway, Kike she's just trying to hide her smile, but can see her beaming. It is it is not that movie than Colors of Fire, and it was written by Ni Akimolayan. This is very good. Ni Akimolayan did justice to this storytelling. Nice screenplay. Yes, we had message, and again, like we said, you know, maybe it was because Ni wrote it and directed it. It's made the work. You know, you understood what he was doing. So like if I said the other time that sometimes too, when you write and you direct, it's you know, it goes in line. You understand what you're doing. Well, it was a very beautiful story.
Very beautiful story. So now let's move away from Colors of Fire now to The Earth by Lani. I think it was directed by Daniel Effiong, but the writer is Lani Aisida. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm so sorry, but yes, that's the name of the person that wrote The Earth. And I was opportunity to interview him at the movie premiere of The Earth, and it told the story of how it came about, the story that it was a testimony in church from someone that was kidnapped, and then he was like, oh yeah, this is a very nice one. So I'm very sure because he had a very close contact with that person, or he listened to it firsthand, it was a beautiful one overall. The Earth is a particular movie that spoke about everything, exactly what was happening at that time and what happened almost 2 months after. The Earth was like a prophecy, foreshadowing.
Oh God, English. Foreshadowing.
Okay, foreshadowing of whatever was going to happen in like 2-3 months after putting out that. So it has been happening, but this particular time it spoke about it in details. It was a beautiful, amazing movie. The Earth. If you haven't seen, I don't know what you're doing. Daniel Effiong as your first debut, the directorial debut, you killed it, and it was fantastic.
Very fantastic, I must say, and we love you, Dan Etim. We love this particular person too, because these writers, they are people who have proven with over time that they know what they are doing. And it's not easy when you are the highest grossing writer of all time in 2025. You killed it. You gave your best, your story development.
I mean, you've been the highest grossing for like 4 or 5 years back to back.
Yes, and you are still, you know, giving us a lot to really like digest. But this movie was just one that you'd always want to watch. I mean, when some of the art guys came and they said they were crying at the cinemas, I was like, really? If these art guys could cry, then who am I not to cry? You know, it doesn't mean I'm a softie, but all I'm trying to say is that if it's because the story, the way it was written, it was so relatable to many people, and they could pick 1 or 2 things.
I mean, a lot of people said that was the highlight. That was one of the highlights they had in 2025. I've seen the movie, and the movie is amazing. I feel like a lot of people that they did for the cinema last year, they
amazing.
They did
I think last year was really like a survivor of the fittest when it comes to writing story. But the movie is behind the scene by Funke Akindele. So she's one of the co-writers.
She's the head writer for our team.
For our team. Then we have Uche Modi, Collins Oko for this particular project.
Story,
a nice one. Collins Oko is a very young man doing quite well for himself, and he's one of the African storytellers, screenwriters that we are looking forward to seeing more of his productions.
Yes, so those are the top 5 countdown for today, and it's amazing how Nollywood has evolved, has grown, and has generated this much publicity. I mean, I can't believe one of our movies, the highest grossing of all time in Africa. It broke record in UK. It broke record in, I think, US or Canada. I don't know where it broke record. So it has been breaking, like we have been breaking record everywhere. You know, we have one that is over 2 billion, almost 2.2 billion naira. We have one that is almost 1 billion in the cinema. We have one that was almost 600 million last year. We have
I can't even wait when we start doing $1 billion. You know, that's $2 billion.
Exactly. So we're going to get there by the special grace of God. But these are the top 5 countdown for today. Anywho, let's move on to another segment of the program. One of the most exciting segments of the program, which is Celebrity of the Week. Celebrity of the Week is a particular segment for me, especially because this is a segment that we dedicate to a particular person. That person is who we dedicate the program to for that day, for the week. So Celebrity of the Week today, you know how we do it now. Somebody cannot come from their house, leave the comfort of their home to come and, you know, sit down with us, talk with us, and, you know, give us our insightful discussions, and they will be like, you're going to go just like that, and we are not going to dedicate this particular episode to you. It's obviously Ifeanyi Barbara Chidi. She's the Celebrity of the Week today. Thank you so much for gracing the screen, ma'am. You did fantastic, and we enjoyed ourselves on the program. Everything you told us are things that I believe anybody that wants to be in the line of this work would really take into consideration. And she already mentioned where you can always reach out or get to see our works, you know, before we came to this particular segment. So thank you so much for that. And Celebrity of the Week once again is Ifeanyi Chidi, Barbara Chidi. Thank you so much for gracing the screen.
Absolutely.
So now let's move to my most favorite part of the program. I cannot hide it. I don't care. Yes, you say your mother doesn't have a favorite. Me, on this particular one, I have a favorite because it's movie release updates. Oh my god!
I know.
Movie release updates for me is just an amazing time for me. Like, it's always it always brings out that inner childlike from me, because I love watching films and I love to talk about the movies that I've seen, that I feel like they are amazing films that you can learn one or two from. And because I feel like I don't know what's going on, the way people are bringing movies this day going to be has calmed down a lot. Is it that they are listening to the consumers, or they are listening to what everybody's saying on TikTok about it? But then let's quickly run through the movie release update, which is number 1, Saved on Uche Jumbo TV on YouTube, featuring Uzo Arukwe and Uche Jumbo herself. This particular movie is a very nice production. It's a nice movie. If you want to know what it is about, please go watch it.
Absolutely.
Another one now, it is With Love Azel. With Love Azel on Bolaji Ogunmola TV, with stars like Remi Okolawon, Bolaji Ogunmola, and Teniola Aladese. Ooh, Tenny, fantastic. That's what I'm going to say about it. Then the Pieces That Fit on Omoni Oboli TV, starring Michael Dapper and Ekama Etim Enyang. They absolutely did well on this particular production, and I will still have Visa on Arrival season 8 running currently. In case you haven't seen it, please go watch all of this movie. And if there are movies that you want to recommend for me in the comment section, please recommend it for us. We're going to know all the movies that you feel like, no, I feel like this one's supposed to be on the list, Your comments are welcome. Please bring it on, and type it in the comment section. I'm going to take a look at it. It's the ones I've not seen, the one that I've seen, I am going to be there to tell you on the next time on the program. Thank you so much for joining us for Screen Time once again this evening on ConsumerHalla TV. I'm Kike Lomo Ajibola, and just in case you haven't followed us across all our social media platforms, please do so. Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscription is absolutely free, all at ConsumerHalla TV. Thank you so much for joining the program.
Right on. Spot on. Thank you so much for all you've said, and today has been amazing. And in case you just want to reach out to us, trust me, we would always reply. Just go to the comment section, and we have a team that's very, very, what's the right word? They're very strong and
Prompt.
dedicated. Yeah. So they would always come to whatever you want. They would always,
Be there.
be there for you. I am here, Mufeko Forola, and you know the way I always say it: the man always clothed in wealth and strength. Goodbye.